Saturn in sextiles and trines, oh my, this Gemini new moon is on fire. Well, it's on fire and the air is pumping the flame, and we're going to talk about it today. We're going to do some astro insights and a message from the living spirit of the I-Ching. Now, I have my feathers out for a reason, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, this is the first new moon kind of kicking off this year with, and I know we're in May. We're like nearly halfway through, but this is a fresh cycle starting where we have Saturn at 0 degrees that just did its first ingress into Aries for the first time in a long time. Saturn takes, I think it's like 30 something years to go all the way around, 32.5, something along those lines. And so it spends about 2.5 years in every sign, and it's back to this 0 point at Aries, the very beginning point of the zodiacal wheel. And this new moon at 6 degrees of Gemini, with Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is trining over to this Saturn ingress. And of course, Neptune is there as well. But we just saw Saturn 2 days, 48 hours prior to this new moon, make its first ingress. So this is one of the first signatures, touch points, aspects that we're seeing with this new ingress. Not only are these beautiful sextiles happening between the fire Aries sign and the ruling planet of the house that this new moon is in, Mercury. We also have Jupiter there, which is expansive. It's very juicy. It's very stimulating. Very stimulating. There's a lot of curiosity, a lot of communication, a lot of ideas, a lot of, well, depending on where it is in your chart, there's just a lot of energy stimulating this area. And along with this air stimulation with the fire in Aries, there is a quality of Venus at 20 degrees and in Aries, as well as Chiron at 25 degrees in Aries. So Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and Chiron are interacting with this new moon as well in terms of a sextile. And that's also a Venusian quality. So there is this air and fire Venus quality that's very, it's more masculine, right? It's a more masculine quality of Aries and healing. So, we're coming out of Neptune, all these planets in Pisces, all these outer planets in Pisces, and making their ingress and their final moves, into next year, but at the moment in Aries. And so it's like kind of in recovery, like we're hungover and we just need like recovery time. So that's kind of how I feel this, is that there's probably a lot of communication around your needs, your wants, your desires, and Chiron is there highlighting maybe where there's some, it's just bringing awareness around where that has happened in that Pisces house, wherever that is in your chart. I also want to mention that Venus Chiron is connecting to another fire sign, Mars in Leo, at 18 degrees. So again, it's the ego, the I am, and that heart, the Leo heart. So there's some beautiful energy here that just it's refreshing. It's like looking on the other side of the storm of, again, like the hangover and picking up the pieces and, okay, great. I'm sober, I'm straight. That was a good time, whatever that was. And I learned a lot of things about how, you know, these other relationships or habits or desires or, you know, things that are fun and Venusian could be, you know, good, but also on the other side of that, what do I really need and want going forward? So just, I want to make this really, the astro insight part really short and sweet because I'm not using a chart. I really want to focus on the messages of the I-Ching, but I really just want to reinforce that, you know, not only do we have these supportive Jupiterian trines and Venusian trines, but there is also, I mean, there is a quality of, there is a quality that is supportive and expansive and like seed planting, growth, long-term growth orientation here. And Gemini is all about ideas and inspiration, you know, mercurial things. And so something new in this area, some communication coming through, something profound, Pluto, from maybe the higher mind, from the collective, maybe some kind of download. It all depends on where this is in your chart. But then Saturn is there to make the Neptunian vision and the communication real. Venus, and make it of real value that supports the I am with the heart and I am healed along with the heart. Like not a superficial thing. This is not superficial at all. This is to the core. And to add to this, so we have 6-degree new moon in Gemini, but then Mercury will cazimi with the sun come together at the heart of the sun later in this week at 9 degrees. So again, it's like another seeding point where there's, you know, synodic cycle, a new cycle is starting. Mercury is consulting the king in its chambers and conspiring a new plan. So it involves this new moon. It involves this Venus Chiron. It involves Mars in the heart of it all. So with that context in mind, which is a lot, but it's really, really good. I'm actually filming this on May 26th, the day before, and Saturn just came in yesterday. And I brought out, I'm doing this now because I'm actually, I've been moving my daughter and I am going to be moving myself here in the next couple of days. And so I'm actually at the corner where I do all of my stuff and I'm getting ready to break it down. So it's gonna be interesting, but what I wanted to do, you're not gonna see much of this stuff for a while until I get settled into my new place. But I brought out the vulture feather that that has to do with death and renewal. Okay, so we had the Scorpio full moon prior to all of this. And Scorpio is about purging, death, and full moons are about letting go, fullness, and the ending of something. So I just wanted to bring in the element of, you know, representing this transition that we're in, and like the death and ending is just as much a beginning as well. So I just wanted to incorporate and honor that in this reading. Oop, that was hot. Silly mama. And with that comes wisdom. So in the darkness of the new moon, the owl is able to see with heightened precision. It is their realm. It is their environment. It is their time. So in this new moon, with all of these beautiful new energies coming through, seeding a new chapter in the darkness, and knowing full well that the Saturn energy is going to be asking us to do hard work that will last a lifetime. It wants us to plant things with the intention of sustained legacy, okay? And then finally, the raven feather. The raven feather we're using today to represent Mercury. Mercury in this, and the cazimi that will be following this new moon. So preparing the collective, preparing ourselves individually to receive, to let go, to see a vision in the night of this dark new moon, which there will be a dark moon in transition to this as well. So it's not that we're going to take immediate action on the day. It's more an unfolding. But Mercury will bring in the messages that we need and solidify that with the sun at that 9 degrees Sunday of this week. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the I-Ching now. I'm just going to pause this for a moment. All right. So I had to pause the first part of the video. And so we're now ready for the second part, where we're doing messages from the spirit of the I-Ching. So let me just, our incense going a little more. I'm going to clear the coins. I've already cleared this space. All right, so I'm just going to center myself and ground in. Clearing my channel. Bypassing conscious mind, accessing the superconscious, connecting to the living spirit of the I-Ching for clear messages for the collective. All right, so our request is, what are the messages and blessings for the collective at this time? What are the messages and blessings for the collective at this time, please? What are the messages and blessings for the collective at this time, please? What are the messages and blessings for the collective at this time, please? What are the messages and blessings for the collective at this time, please? Messages and blessings for the collective at this time, please. Do you see how much yin receptive energy is coming through here? It's pretty impressive. And that's what it kind of feels like, right? In the dark new moon, it is a receptive moon. It is a receptive moon. All right, so we have the quality of fire here. And then just earth, yin. We do have one moving line, so that will add a little texture to the message. It will change the hexagram. We're going to use, excuse me, the Tao Oracle, Ma Deva Padma. And we'll see here we have the top one is Earth. Where is it? All Earth. Excuse me one second. I had a tickle in my throat. Okay. And then we have, oh no, sorry, that was water. My bad. This trigram is water. Water because it cannot be destroyed. So it's solid in the middle. Things move around it. The yin move around it. The yin lines do. All items move around water, right? And it takes the form of whatever it's in and becomes solid, right? Or figuratively in terms of like the yang line, okay? All right, so that changes the hexagram, right? So the top is earth and the bottom is water. Where is that? Right here. So we have hexagram 7. And we do have a moving line, so we'll get to that. Okay. All right, we have discipline. It's a really cool image too. I'll show it to you. See that? Like, he's serious. This guy's serious. That's like the Saturn quality right there. And there's even like a little crescent moon in this image. And so, I mean, just the name of this hexagram implies quite a bit, right? Because we have, first of all, the number of 7, which is Saturnine. The cycles, the opening square, 7, you know, the opposition, closing square, all 7s, right? And then you see the square, and just the form that this image is taking is very like hard edges, stoic, sharp, you know, it's very disciplined and structured and form with purpose. And there's been a path to get to this, right? There's a tree behind it. Maybe it started off as a seedling and now it's grown and it's kind of come into its own and it's mature in its form now. So I'll just read a little bit from this translation, okay? I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to pick out from some parts of it, but you could always look it up, the fullness of it online if you'd like. When the time to mobilize the army has arisen, it is a clarion call for self-discipline and much needed clarity that is stripped of emotional excess and undaunted by mounting chaos. So yeah, you get serious, right? You get focused. It may seem now that you are surrounded on all sides by potentially undermining forces that threaten to chip away at the foundation of all you stand for, which, everything coming out of Pisces, moving into all these new signs, getting new planetary ingresses, it might feel like everything that you've known has shattered around you. And that's because you're meant to create something new from a more mature, clear-minded standpoint, from a more mature position or footing. Let's see. In order to achieve long-term objectives, you must avoid any tendency to go for the quick fix. Saturn won't let you do that shit, okay? No quick fixes. It has to be the right way and meticulous with steady effort. Let's see. Cutting your losses by taking the easy way out might seem to satisfy an understandable desire for resolution, but the effect of such actions can only be short term. Whether you are in a position, you are being tested to the maximum now. Oh, sorry, I skipped a sentence. Of leadership or actions that affect the many, or the conflict you face is within your own consciousness, you are being tested to the maximum now. The spotlight is on the urgent need to get a handle on your diminishing resources. So, yeah, Saturn is also cold, restrictive. It wants measured austerity, right? It wants an Excel spreadsheet accounting of all of your financials and the cutting away of anything of excess, any of those subscriptions, right? Whether the challenge facing you is social, spiritual, or physical, the fact remains that you cannot afford the slightest trace of immature or undisciplined behavior. Marshal all your strength now to focus on taking care of each situation as it arises. And in doing so, leave no detail unattended, no stone unturned. Do not relax your awareness even for a moment. This will need all of your skill in spotting and reining in any little trick of the mind that might interfere with your awareness by besieging you with fearfulness or self-doubt. In conclusion, I'm just going to skip down to the last little paragraph here. Don't shy away from or deny the powerful energy that wants to forcefully assert itself through you now. You are the tool. Whatever messages you get through at this time, you're chosen for that task. And it will be fulfilling. It will speak to your heart, and it will help identify you through the next chapter of your life, wherever you are in your life. Instead, work to harness it so that it can be creative and support a solution to the present dilemma. You might have to act alone, or if you are fortunate, you will be able to find companions to help you in your task. Like diffusing a bomb, addressing the situation that confronts you now will require a good deal of patience and skill. But if you succeed, it will benefit you and everyone around you. And I would say probably for a long time, honestly. And we'll just take a quick look at the moving line. So it is third line from the bottom. To act out of awareness is very different from reacting out of frustration. It may be that you have been swept up in enthusiasm. We do have a lot of heat and so fire and air energy. Emotional extremes that have thrown your inner equilibrium out of whack. If you now find that you've been placed at a disadvantage, it should come as no surprise. Make efforts to restore your inner equilibrium so that you can act with more clarity. Okay, so that is the added texture and advice. So it's discipline. Oh my gosh. discipline. And in this message, we had, that air and fire, emotional outburst, I want to say. First, like it is the disadvantage. Something to be cautious of, okay? So we need more seriousness at this time, more maturity, more focus. You're going to be assigned something new, and you're meant to take it for the long haul. And you might see it in those 7-year increments, progress. So nothing right away, okay? And again, we have that Neptune, and we're going to have the, Mercury, Cazimi. So the vision is going to come through. Vision. The message. Orders. You're getting your orders. Okay? We all are at some level or another. Now, I could reconstruct this hexagram, as you know from previous videos, into a new hexagram because of the trigrams changing lines, but I really feel pretty satisfied with the energy of this reading at the moment. And I think it is necessary to do a little bit more moment to moment than looking out too far at this point. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Not like that isn't a small thing. No small thing there. And I'm just going to ask you to please give me a like and leave me a comment. I am working on growing this channel, evolving it, changing it up as the vision becomes more clear for me too, So, yeah, thanks for your presence. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your energy, your likes, subscribes, and your comments. And wishing you all the best in this Gemini new moon. And we'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.